Hey everybody, it's Glidercat and it's time to play again. Today I've got a quick preview of an upcoming colony builder game called Patron. Now this game hasn't yet entered early access, but there is a demo of the game that you can download and try out, and that should be available for you to download on June 16th, 2021. I'm not exactly sure when this video is going to post. It may make it before the 16th, it may not. But on the 16th of June, you should be able to download a demo. Now, at the time of recording this, the demo version of Patron will let you play the game for about 2 hours, and then the game stops. If you want, you can start up a new game and go at it again, but that's what you'll see. So if you like what you see in this preview video, then head over to Steam, download the demo, and give it a spin. Now, the release date for Patron, as shown in Steam, is just sometime in Q3 of 2021. That's all it says right now, and I'm guessing that's when it's going to go into early access. We'll probably get a more firm date as we get closer or we get into Q3 of 2021. And dates tend to slip, so don't be too surprised if that if that happens. Software is tough, but they do have a working demo, so that is a strong positive sign. And then one last thing to mention before we dive in, I do have a short preview season Let's Play of Patron. That should post to the Glidercat channel shortly after this video, and in that series, I'm playing the demo myself, so you can check that out. I'll put a link in the description. All right. Now for this short preview video, let's start by watching the game's trailer. We often do that, and then we'll come back and talk more about Patron. Okay, here we go with the trailer. Okay, so that was the trailer, and most of what we saw there looks to be pretty standard fare for just about any colony builder game, and there's nothing really wrong with that, I suppose. Now, as you likely already know, the colony builder genre is very, very crowded. I have several of those games on my channel, and I'm reviewing new ones, it seems like every week. But, you know, people love the colony builder games, and many will welcome Patron with open arms at first sight. However, others are going to want to know what's different about this one and why they should consider it if they've already got a few colony builders in their game library. So I'm going to try and touch on some of that in this video as we go along. Now, I've only played through the demo, and there's a bunch of features and planned content for Patron that I haven't yet been able to experience. That said, in this preview video, I'm going to highlight the aspects of the game that I found interesting, and then also share some of my thoughts after playing the game for about 3 hours. Now, the game trailer may not have done the best job distinguishing Patron from other colony builder games, and I kind of hope they come up with another trailer later on that does a better job of that, because there are some unique aspects. However, in the Steam description of the game, the developers do tell us what they believe is unique about their game. So let me read some of that to you, because I think it highlights what's unique about this game much better than the trailer does. Okay, so here is some of the game description you'll find on Steam. And I'm just going to let some gameplay footage run in the background while I read this to you. Patron builds on the foundations laid by the staples of the survival city builder genre and enhances the experience with a large research tree and by introducing intricate social dynamics into the game and genre in general. And we'll take a look at both those things there, the social dynamic stuff and the tech tree. Patron starts off similarly to other games in the genre, but then veers off, exploring social intricacies and what it means to truly run a society and not just a city filled with automatons. Each individual citizen in the town has needs, desires, and issues that either trouble them or make them happy. For example, some citizens are concerned with immigration, while others are more aggravated by tax related issues. Now, the developers go on to say that if a citizen's view on a given subject agrees with how you're running the colony and the decisions you're making, then they're going to be happy. And if not, then they won't be happy. And you'll likely have a trouble pleasing everybody in your colony. So that all makes sense. We've seen that in other games as well. That's not entirely new. There's definitely more games that are bringing in, individual citizens' views and specific needs and things. So, since it seems to be such a big part of the game, let me just read this last little bit of the description that pertains to, the balancing of these sensitive social issues. Now, it says, every decision you make as patron will be met with different reactions from different social groups. You'll need real political talent to balance sensitive matters such as religion, immigration, loyalty, poverty, etc. Whatever you choose to do can lead to unforeseen consequences years later. Okay, so that's enough of the Steam description. That should give you an idea of kind of where they're going with the game. I think the hook is going to be these social issues and how you manage these different choices in the game that are going to impact how your citizens feel about you as patron of the colony. And there's more to read on Steam if you're interested, so check that out if you want to learn more. Now, with all the mention of social issues and balancing sensitive matters, I want to show you where I saw some aspects of that when I played through the demo. Now, keep in mind, we're still in early alpha, and the game is not yet finished, so things could change. Matter of fact, everything you see in this video could change somewhat by the time we get into that early access release in Q3. Now, the first example has to do with choices you're going to need to make when events pop up in the game. And I just posted a video a few days ago on Going Medieval, and it has a similar system of events that kind of pop up, and you got to make your difficult choice. And other games have this as well. But some of these events in Patron are for simple things, like the one shown here, which indicates that the king is sending us supplies. Not much to decide there, just a quick thank you and grab the resources and move on with your day. But there are other ones that'll pop up that give you a choice for how you want to respond. Now, I'm showing you some of those here. I won't read through all of them, but you can pause the video if you want to read them. And for these ones, you'll need to consider the pros and cons of each option that you're given. And it's often going to be a trade-off between some kind of resources that your colony needs or income versus social perception or the morale of your villagers. So those are the ones some of the ones that I've seen kind of scrolling by here. So we looked at a couple of events. Now, the other way that I saw kind of social issues presented in the game and how you're going to manage those is through this system of decrees. So let's take a look at the townhouse here, kind of our town center, and there's a series of decrees that you can set in your colony. And it looks like there's 10 slots here. And if I go and open one of these up, actually, let me put this here, open this guy up. Oh, hold on one second. I want you to see both of these things at the same time if I can. The first thing here is these are all the attributes, I believe, that determine the happiness of your colony and how your citizens feel about all of these different issues, right? You've got a general indicator for happiness. I'm guessing that's overall happiness. Then you've got things like health, safety, immigration, loyalty. There's taxes, goods that they're being provided. So you've got some indication of how your citizens overall are feeling about these things. But again, if you go into the list of decrees here, you can see there's 4 categories of policies that you can enact. And again, we saw that you have 10 slots, and there's obviously more than 10 here. So you can choose which 10 that you want to enact in your colony. And each of these right now, they're all grayed out. Each of these has to be researched in the tech tree, and we're going to take a look at that in a minute. But just to give you an idea, there's 4 categories: government, economy, production, and social. And then on the social issues, you can see things like school budget cuts. This is going to decrease. If you look at the bonuses section here on the pop-up, it says it's going to decrease your school upkeep costs by 30%. but your citizens' views on education are going to decline 2 points, whatever that means. So that's going to detract from their happiness living in your colony. Then you got education focus, which might be just the opposite. It says school efficiency increases by 60% and education goes up by 2, but you need to spend some money and some influence to keep this policy enacted. There's things like budgeting for different types of goods, food restrictions, town celebrations. This looks like a way to buy happiness. Cost 1,040 coins per year. It consumes 10 influence points, but then you get 12 happiness as a bonus. So maybe that offsets some of the other policies that people aren't so crazy about. Here under government, you've got secular society. Church upkeep goes down, but people's views of how religion is being handled in your colony go down as well. So that shows you just all these different things. There's tax cuts. There's housing subsidies, it looks like here, tributes, market tolls, all kinds of different policies that you can kind of enact. And again, you get 10 slots here to do that. So that's the ways that I saw how you are going to be managing the social issues. Now, I would expect this list of decrees could change and things could be added or maybe even removed or changed. Again, we're still pre-alpha or alpha stage, I guess. So expect some change there, but it gives you an idea of what you're going to be able to do. Now, I just mentioned the tech tree, so why don't we take a look at that? Because it's extensive. And here you can see in where I'm at in the demo playthrough, I've unlocked a couple things here, the quarry and the fisherman's hut. We won't go through all of these, but let me just kind of scroll this list to the right. And I'll pause so you can take a look at some of these as you go. But this thing goes on and on and on and on. And on and on and on and on. So lots of stuff to research, unlock, all of those policies that we saw. Like here's some example of policies. You can see it says right there in the pop-up that this is not available in the demo. But all of those policies that we just looked at in the town hall building that you can enact, they first need to be unlocked through research. And you can see most of those, it looks like they're just going to take money to unlock those. And then some of the buildings and things that you're going to unlock, like this harbor, take, in addition to money, it's going to take some materials. In this case, it looks like it's iron and tools. And then the research obviously takes some time. But yeah, this goes on and on. And this is another thing when you're looking at early alpha builds or pre-alpha, pre-early access code and demos and that kind of thing. Tech tree is another area where you can expect some change over time. Before it gets into early access. But all very cool. Look at this one. Takes 9,000 coins, a bunch of wood, and a bunch of stone in this case, but allows the construction of your own personal and large mansion fit for a true patron. Very cool. So I definitely, I wanted to give you a look at the tech tree. That is pretty extensive and pretty cool. If you like tech trees like I do, you're going to like seeing that. So again, this is just a preview video to get Patron on your radar. I covered a few of the things that I think are unique and interesting about the game. Hopefully that gives you a high-level picture of the game and a sense for what it's about. I also should mention that I like the art style. There's seasons in the game. They look great. The buildings, to me, look pretty cool. The people, I like the little, the little models for the people. There's 3 levels of people. You've got adults. Then you've got the young, which I guess is like adolescents, and then you've got, children, which are little toddlers, and they all look pretty cool. So, and then there's also several maps in the game, each with varying difficulties that you're going to be able to choose from when the game is released. Now, the demo only has a single map, but you can see several others, and some of the challenges that are presented in each map has to do with like fertility and starting resources, that kind of thing. So, and I walked through those different maps in the first episode of the preview Let's Play series that I mentioned earlier. So again, you can check that out to learn even more about Patron and see more of the gameplay. Again, the planned release date, as I mentioned a couple times, is sometime in Q3 of 2021. And you can download and try out the demo that I played, which should be available again on June 16th. So depending on when you're watching this, it probably is already there. And I'm going to follow this game for a while now. I played through the demo. I got through the end. I'm going to keep my eyes on this game and expect to see more of it on the Glidercat channel as it develops further. It's pretty interesting, and I definitely enjoyed my playthrough. If you're interested in learning about other cool upcoming games, just like Patron, then be sure to check out my First Look playlist. I mention it in every First Look video, or every preview video in this case. There's just a ton of great games on that list, and I add new ones very frequently. This game will go on that list pretty much immediately, and I'll pop a link to that playlist in the description of the video, and I really hope you check that out because there's some cool games you likely haven't heard of. Some are not released yet, and some are, you can go pick them up right now. And for now, this is Glidercat saying thanks so much for watching my preview video of Patron. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.